Now, still keeping with budget defenses, the House of Representatives Committee on Navy has called for increased funding to enhance Nigerian Navy's ability to secure the nation's waterways while opposing creation of a separate Coast Guard. Committee Chairman Hon Yusuf Gagdi made the recommendation during the 2025 budget defense session in Abuja. He criticized the current insufficient funding for the Navy and rejected the idea of establishing a new agency, emphasizing that it would be imprudent to do so while the Navy is underfunded. Hon Gagdi acknowledged Navy's efforts despite financial constraints and dismissed proposals for a Coast Guard, noting that a bill advocating for its establishment had been previously rejected by the committee following consultations with key stakeholders, including NIMASA and NPA. He argued that it would be irrational to create a new agency when the existing one is struggling financially.
We have a Navy that is suffocated of funding. We have a Navy that is doing well, and we want additional funding for the Nigerian Navy. As National Assembly, it will be irrational for us to consider passage of another sister agency when the existing agency is not being adequately funded. We must work together to ensure that we've educated the Nigerian people, and we must work together to ensure that we protect the Nigerian Navy on the floor of the House of Representatives. Be that as it may, you have made presentation the CNS. We have heard you, we have read this before you make those presentations, including the acting vice chancellor and the hydrographer of the Federation. We know how strategic Navy is to the economic survival of Nigeria regarding to our internally generated revenue, regarding to how our maritime activities in respect of revenue is being protected by the Nigerian Navy. So, in all the three armed forces, the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force, I can say Navy have most economic value to the survival of the Nigeria as a country. And so, these are agencies that we need to invest resources in making sure that it survives.
Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Emilio Ogalla also addressed funding challenges, revealing that the Navy received 211.2 billion in 2024. This included 42.9 billion naira for capital expenditure and 132.26 billion naira for personnel costs. He appealed for increased overhead funding to support fielding of platforms, maintain equipment, and enhance accommodations.
Based on that, we articulated a total budget estimate, that's capital budget estimate, of about 360 million to be able to capture that. But the Federal Ministry of Budget and National Planning pegged our envelope to 88 billion 373,538,798 naira. So we had to work with this budget. So based on that, for our capital budget for 2025, we have budgeted a total of 88 billion, a proposal of 88 billion 373 million 538,798 naira. And these things were split into fleet renewal. Under fleet renewal, the sum of 25 billion 475 million 320,665 naira 81 kobo was proposed for ongoing acquisitions of various types of platforms which are yet to be fully paid for. Now, in terms of infrastructure development, which is also part of the capital expenditure, the sum of 35 billion 886 million 250,933 naira 16 kobo was proposed for infrastructure development projects in Nigeria. Basically, this is the 2025 budget proposal for the Nigerian Navy. Notwithstanding what I have proposed, I wish to once again request the intervention of this committee to intervene, particularly in the area of overhead costs, for us to be able to improve and perform even much better than we did last year and in the previous years. I also want to reiterate that as a result of our operations in collaboration with other security agencies, Nigeria has continued to remain out of the list of piracy-prone countries in the world. And of course, our sustained effort also has led to drastic reduction in illegalities in the Nigerian maritime environment, where most of the oil companies operating upstream have reported what they call a 100% terminal factor in their various